Hey guys, what is going on? It is me, PecuriBox12 here, and welcome back to another Realm of the Mad God video. The Cnidarian Reef Court of Oryx boss dungeon has been released right under our noses. People have been making their own videos on it, running them, and apparently getting white bags on their first try. I'm no exception. As well as a handful of quality of life updates, most of which I've already covered in past videos, and that plenty of other people have covered on their own. The pet wardrobe is here, the HP and MP pot coloration is here, and plenty of other things. What I want to focus on though is this new boss. It's something I was really excited for the moment that I saw it teased, and while it has been changed a little bit, it's still a lot of fun. The most prominent observation here is that we have another underwater location. This is something that I've always wanted to see for a very long time. While we don't want to take away what makes the ocean trench special, I think that having another dungeon set in an underwater place is perfectly fine, as long as we make it different from the trench. And while what we have here isn't a full dungeon, it still makes very good use of its underwater set piece. You're set inside of a circular arena surrounded by a coral reef. But unlike Thessal, where the air bubbles are away from the boss, and you have to dip out in order to breathe, it's the opposite here. You actually have to get close to the boss and put yourself right next to danger in order to stay alive. And later in the fight, you'll actually have to do quite the balancing act. While all of these same attacks are here and accounted for, the Royal Cnidarian itself appears to be a lot more aggressive. Before, there was a pretty good safe spot that you could stand in, strafing left and right to avoid the bullets, while still remaining on top of an air bubble. But now there is a far more frequent paralyze attack, which, to its credit, is very in sync with the theming of a jellyfish boss. And like a handful of DECA's recent boss fights, you will have to occasionally break away from the air bubbles to go kill minions that circle around the boss room. Once they're dead, the boss will become vulnerable, you deal your damage, and move on to the following phases. What I didn't expect was that during the third rotation of minions, the Orange Cnidarian actually start attacking you, and I underestimated these shots the first couple of times, and it nearly got me killed. There's also a classic tentacle phase to watch out for, something that we've been dealing with ever since Septavius. While getting paralyzed next to the boss is always scary, you really only have to watch out for the oval shots. Those are the ones that armor pierce for about 175. In terms of overall difficulty, I think they did a very good job with consistency across these three Oryx Court dungeons. Shaitan's, Encore, and the Reef are all very hand in hand when it comes to their challenge. I can't really say that one is more difficult or easier than the other. It's very circumstantial. I've seen people steamroll Encores, Shaitan's, and even the Reef can be. Sometimes you can have a group of people stand in one location and tank the shots for you, and you can stand off to the side, get your soul bound completely unharmed. Not entirely sure how I feel about that. I think it would be nice if maybe the shots pierced, so that way you couldn't have everybody clumped together and brute force it. You can't do that in the Encore, I'll tell you that. Shaitan's maybe, but that seems a little too easy to do in a full realm. Speaking of which though, I'm so glad that they finally spawned all three portals side by side. Now you don't have to roll the dice on which portal you're gonna get. You can choose which one you want to do. If you see a bunch of people going into one and you want to have one to yourself, you can go into the uncrowded one, or join the party. It's up to you, and I like that. There are a couple of spots that can catch you off guard for sure. Standing inside of the tentacles is a no-go because of the armor pierce, and if you can't manage your air, which by the way drains faster here than an ocean trench, then you're going to have an immediate struggle here, especially when you have to break away to kill the minions while dodging the attacks and managing your air, plus you're like one of the only ones doing it. That can be pretty scary, but it does have a learnable pattern, and that's what I like about it. I especially like the final phase at the very end, where all the jellyfish just go nuts and start swarming you. I don't know what it is, just seeing all of those colors sway around is pleasantly overwhelming to me. The phase right before you kill the final minion is pretty cool too. You have to stand basically at point blank against the boss, dodging the tentacles and the dazes, staying on the air bubble, but also making sure that you never step too far back into the minions behind you. It's a really tight-knit phase, but gotta say, I was loving every moment of it. After I do a couple more of these, I think I'll have gotten the hang of it. The loot is pretty consistent too. Like I said, the first time I got a white bag, so that was a pretty good first impression. But even in the other ones, I got at least one potion. I know getting a defense isn't very exciting, but that's kind of how the Court of Oryx dungeons work, so I don't have a huge problem with that. The white bags themselves are also pretty sweet. Scepter's pretty cool, and I've heard the poison is really good. Depending on your group size, it can either be painfully easy or pretty dang hard. I'd say it sits at a comfortable upper mid tier in difficulty. So I'm excited about this new dungeon. I think it's a great addition to the Court of Oryx, and I plan on running plenty more of these. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Alright, see ya.